Please stand. And please join Troop 18 as they lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing. And I welcome the North Brunswick Township High School choir members.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the drums bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the brave and the home of the brave.
Thank you. Please be seated. On behalf of Mayor Francis Mack Womack III and the North Brunswick Township Council, it is a privilege to welcome each of you here tonight. We reflect upon the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and celebrate his life with a focus on township community service.
Wow. It may seem that America is an old country, but it's relatively short in the history of the world. And in a short history of America, there are only a handful of people who would probably qualify as someone who might be called a prophet. Someone who would speak to our conscience, speak to our hearts, speak to the way we live and what we think is important. And Martin Luther King Jr. is on the very short list of those people in our history. We don't just come to remember the man. That would be great. But it's also important to us that we remember the message that he brought, and that it is always wrong when we treat people based on the color of their skin, what they believe, or how they live their lives. That is always wrong. We always, as America, grant people respect and honor, and we share our lives and hearts and journeys with everyone equally. That's his message. When we look forward, we're still not done. It's still not true. And so we invite in our prayer tonight the Creator of the universe to look into our hearts, to give us courage to follow his example and to practice what he meant, which was in America with liberty and justice for all. So please join me, all of us, please, as we invite the Creator to examine our hearts and to call us to live in line with the prophetic vision that was characterized and are so well articulated by one of the very few prophets in American history. Let's pray together. Creator, Lord, Father, the words we use to describe you are different perhaps, but we respect you and we honor you and we thank you for sending Martin Luther King Jr. into our country. We thank you that he spoke words that caused us to rethink the way we think, to rethink the way we live and practice our American dream. We honor him as we honor you who sent him to us. But we ask you, we invite you this evening to come and fill our hearts anew with the same kind of courage and the same kind of commitment and the same kind of moral compass that says that in this country we strive for liberty and justice for everyone. Please, we invite you. Join us as we celebrate. Inspire us as we remember. And challenge us as we leave from here. Amen.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. The faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
It is an honor to call upon Mayor Francis Mack Womack and Council President Ralph Andrews.
Evening, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. Events in the world and our country remind us again of what an important holiday, what an important gathering this is. And it always makes me very proud every year that we have so much of the community come out for this critical event. I'd like to ask the Council President to read our proclamation this year. Council President.
This is a proclamation from the Mayor and Council of the Township of North Brunswick. Whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia on January 15th, 1929, and he made a lasting impression as a key leader in the American Civil Rights Movement during the 1950s and the 1960s. And whereas during speeches and rallies in our nation's capital and throughout America, Dr. King promoted his dream of a nation where everyone is treated as equals and is judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And whereas Dr. King's outstanding leadership, his inspiring speeches, and his diligent efforts on behalf of our nation's at-risk and minority population have encouraged millions of Americans to share his dream of civil equality and to bring this dream closer to reality. Whereas Dr. King promoted nonviolence and compassion, and his followers of all races and creeds rallied around him time and time again, demonstrating his vision for universal equality, solidarity, and peace, which we continue to strive for today in our homes, our communities, and throughout our great nation. And whereas the students, teachers, administrators, residents, and community leaders recognize, celebrate, and embrace Dr. King's dream and realize that it is the young people of all races and religions who hold the keys to the fulfillment of this dream. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and Council of the Township of North Brunswick, do hereby proclaim January 19th, 2015 as Martin Luther King Jr. Day and call this observance to the attention of all of our citizens.
Thank you, Mayor and Council President. And it is a privilege and honor to have joining us tonight the North Brunswick Township African American Club.
Okay. This first poem we're reading is called Let America Be America Again. And this was written by Langston Hughes, and it just promotes a message of equality rather than specifically just a message of support for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free. America was never America to me.
Let America be the dreamer's dream. Let it be that great strong land of love, where never kings connive nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above.
It never was America to me.
Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe.
There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free.
Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark?
And who are you that draws your veil across the stars?
I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak.
I'm the young man, full of strength and hope, tangled in what ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed.
I am the farmer, bows me to the soil. I am the worker, sold to the machine. I am the Negro, servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, me. Hungry yet today, despite the dream. Beaten yet today. Oh, pioneers, I'm the man who never got ahead. The poorest worker, battered through the years.
Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings. Who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet his mighty daring sings, in every brick and stone, in every furrow turned. That's made America the land it has become.
Oh, I'm the man who sailed those early seas in search of what meant to be my home. For I'm the one left the dark Ireland shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lay. And torn from black Africa's strand, I came to become the homeland of the free.
The free?
Who set the free? Not me. Surely not me. The millions of relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay. For all the dreams we've dreamt, all the songs we sang, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung. The millions who have nothing for our pay, except the dream that's almost dead today.
Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, the Indians, Negroes, me.
Me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith in pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again.
Sure, call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain. From those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again, America.
Oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me. And yet I swear this oath, America will be.
Out of the rack and ruin of our gangsters' death, the rape and rot of graft and stealth and lies, we, the people, must redeem. The land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains and the endless plains, all the stretch of these great green states, and make America again.
Thank you. Okay, and this second poem is actually one that we found. We were unable to find a title, but this poem is supposed to reflect the dream, the impact, the long-lasting impact that Martin Luther King had on society. So, now I begin. Some kings rule their kingdoms sitting down, surrounded by luxury, soft cushions and fans. But this king stood strong, stood proud, and stood tall.
When the driver told Rosa, move to the back of the bus. When the waiters told students, we don't serve your kind. When the mayor told voters, your vote don't count. And when the sheriff told marches, get off our streets, using fire hoses, police dogs, and cattle prods to move them along. This king stood strong, stood proud, stood tall.
Speaking of peace, of love and children, hand in hand, free at last, free at last.
When some yelled for violence, for angry revenge, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, he stood his ground, preaching peace.
And when some spit out of hate, he stood there smiling, spreading love, until it rolled like the sea across the land, sweeping away Jim Crow, breaking down the walls, ringing the bell.
Until, standing on the mountaintop, they shot him, coldly, hoping to see him fall, hoping to put him away, to bring him low.
But this king, even in death, even today, stands strong, stands proud, and stands tall, and we remember.
Thank you.
Thank you, students. Well done. It is an honor at this time to call upon Tony Brooks, our keynote speaker this evening. Many of us know Tony in our community as a volunteer, as a friend, an active member in our school district, vice president of our Board of Education, and a true community volunteer. It is a privilege to ask Tony Brooks to join me.
Thank you very much to the Director of Parks and Recreation, Ms. Luann Benson. I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to be the keynote speaker this evening. I greatly appreciate being considered worthy of this opportunity, and I thank you. To Mayor Womack, to the members of City Council, to my fellow board members from the Board of Education, to my wife and to friends, it's a pleasure to see you all gathered this evening to celebrate the life of a man that began to weave the fabric of our nation. At this moment, I'd just like to give a hand to all of the young men and young women that have performed thus far this evening, and those young men and young women that are yet to perform this evening. As I prepared my speech, two of Dr. King's quotes resonated. The first one, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? The second quote, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Reading these quotes made me think about the content of this great man's character as he moved a mountain of hatred to fight for equality. Those of us that are school age or a little older have heard and or read about Dr. King's fight for racial and economic equality. The fact that he carried out his dream in a non-violent manner when confronted by the enemy makes you wonder what was at the cornerstone of his belief. You have to understand, I grew up in Detroit, and when I was confronted by the enemy, I was taught to defend myself, which meant it would not be a non-violent confrontation. Thankfully, as a high school student, my mother taught me to use my heart and my mind instead of my hands to thwart violence. And as I grew older, I began to give more thought to the content of Dr. King's character. And as I moved on from a high school student in Detroit to the halls of Dr. King's alma mater, Morehouse College, I was often told by some of my instructors about Dr. King's character, his determination, his commitment, his service to others. I'm certain we can all think of a number of ingredients that would build character. But for Dr. King, it must have begun with self-respect. He had to respect himself before he could understand the concept of equality and began to realize that there was an injustice. If we don't respect ourselves, then how can we demand respect from others? Compassion. Compassion had to be another ingredient of his character. In order for him to care so much for other men and women that he was willing to give his life. I can hear him ask himself, what are you doing for others? From his actions, this was a question he consistently asked. I'm certain along the way, he may have questioned his need to remain compassionate for others, especially as some African Americans began to resent his actions because the hatred during this period of time began to intensify. But Dr. King's vision was greater than 2020. He could see the mountaintop. He knew places like North Brunswick would look differently in 2015 than it did in 1965. So thankfully, he kept pushing forward. A peaceful spirit, another ingredient of his character, had to come from the love in his heart, because fighting hatred with hatred begets more hatred. Besides, the burden of carrying hatred becomes too heavy and defeats the purpose of our existence, loving one another and making a positive impact on the lives of others. Remember the portion of the quote, what are you doing for others? The peaceful spirit is what began to tug at the heart of many Americans, causing a movement of this mountain of hatred that was ever present. Integrity. Integrity had to be included in his recipe for a distinguished character. I'm certain along the way he had opportunities to sell his dream and leave the lives of millions behind. But maintaining his integrity, to stay true to himself and the people of this nation, proved more valuable than any dollar amount. What a blessing it is that he had the integrity not to remain silent about the things that mattered most. Some may say that was then, but this is now. Let me address that by saying we may have come to America on different boats, but we're all in the same boat now. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, regardless as to whether it's in Florida, Missouri, or New York. As I began to close, let's take a look at the issues that plague our society and see how they differ from the 60s. Unfortunately, we still have racial and ethnic hatred paired with economic inequality. Please, let's not mistake the fact that a great change has taken place from the time Dr. Martin Luther King walked this earth. But let's not become complacent. There's still a mountain to be moved. So as we celebrate Dr. King and his legacy, let's remember to ask ourselves, what are you doing for others? Don't remain silent if it's something that matters. Let's utilize Dr. King's recipe for success: self-respect, compassion, a peaceful spirit, and integrity. And let's all work together and bring about a change. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks, for your wonderful, meaningful words. Well done. I now turn our program over to our Leo drummers.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you for having this wonderful opportunity. So, Leo drummers, I want to thank you for your wonderful energy that you brought to this project. The Leo drummers are truly a testament to the possibilities that we can move mountains. And there are mountains yet to move, but we can kind of fun in moving them. Ready? Yeah. Let's rock it.
Great job. I anticipated that everyone would have been on their feet by now, snapping and stomping to the beat. Let's give them another round of applause. Well done. At this time, I'm going to ask Mayor Francis Mac Womack, Council President, to join me, our council members. We have some special awards to present. Principal Clark, if you could join us as well. As we move into our awards section, I'd like to take a moment and reflect upon and thank Mr. Clark, as he has helped so much with our program this evening, not only with this program, but he is a tremendous resource for all our programs. So if we could just give a round of applause to Mr. Clark.
First of all, thank you, Ms. Benson, and also thank you for all our residents here tonight for this wonderful program to celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. On a personal note, I want to thank our students from our African American Club for being here tonight. Congratulations for being here, and what a wonderful job. And also to our choir, and Ms. Moreno, thank you very much for being here tonight for this celebration. I believe Dr. Pons is here someplace. I'd like to have my colleague come up here, please. Dr. Pons. Dr. Pons is my breakfast buddy, so I'm having him up here tonight to introduce our award winner from our school district there, and a better person to do it than Dr. Pons there.
I am so proud to announce this young man's name. He is an amazing educator. He's taught me a lot about how to be a better principal, how to be a better person. I am proud to know him, proud to see him every day in the school. Will Mr. Jerry Agaman please come up?
While we have both gentlemen here, and sorry, Dr. Pons, putting you on the spot there, for your dedicated efforts in human relations in the North Brunswick community, sponsored by the North Brunswick African American Club and the Mayor and Township Council. Congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. I kind of wrote something. I hope that's all right to share with everybody. Okay. Sorry, this is a great speech. I'm going to write this right here first. Thank you. This is a huge honor. And I'm usually very bad at thanking people, so I want to make sure I do this right. So I'm going to thank Dr. Clark, Mr. Clark, and the entire Martin Luther King Jr. Award Committee for presenting me this award. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank my grade level team, my kindergarten team, K team. They have given me immense knowledge on how to be a better person. I want to thank Debbie Drucker for helping me to be the teacher that I am now, and helping me to volunteer. Even when it was hard to do so, I learned so much from this individual. Thank you, Dr. Jonathan Pons. He has shown me in the past 2.5 years of knowing him, the type of man I want to be, the type of role model I want to be, and I hope to become just like this individual right here one day. My family for keeping me grounded, my sister who's going to school, who I'm very proud of as well. I want to thank every student I've ever had. You are the best teachers that I could ever ask for, and I've learned something new every day, whether I want to or not. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here tonight. I want to thank thank God, and thank you for keeping me on this track, God, and for getting me to this moment today. and thank you for the man I am right now. For those of you who may not know me or may know me, I was born on April 4th, and that's a momentous day for both my parents and my family. I was the firstborn, and even though that day is really special for me, it was a big day for other things. NASA had their first Apollo 6 on April 4th. The Microsoft was founded on April 4th. Robert Downey Jr. was born April 4th. That's Iron Man, for anybody who doesn't know. And China's National Children's Day is April 4th, and so is Angola's Peace Day. But April 4th is also another day that basically I've carried with me for another reason. April 4th is something that I have a little guilt about, something I've carried since elementary school. And I want to share with you what that is. On April 4th, 1986, in Memphis, Tennessee, Pastor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was taken from us. The day before his passing, Martin Luther King Jr. gave us this memorable quote: "I just want to do God's will, and He's allowed me to go to the mountain, and I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I might not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land." Chilling words, but also words that have become forever awe-inspiring vision, an awe-inspiring vision for the social unrest that existed in the civil rights movement. But if Dr. King was to come back today and look at the state of our country as it is now, how would he respond? Have we reached that promised land that he spoke of? Would he praise the integration of our schools, or would he frown at the academic disparities between schools in urban districts and privileged, affluent suburban districts? Would he be amazed at how quickly we're able to transfer information with the touch of a finger through the internet? Or would he be astonished at how much bullying and hateful commentary there is online that exists in our hyper-connected world on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram? Would he smile at how affirmative action has allowed diversity and cooperation to cooperate, help us to cooperate in understanding of each other, and to inform of cultural awareness in the workplace, schools, and universities and organizations? Or would he groan as he watched today's news media covering the same discrimination that he fought to end over 50 years ago? What would he say to the current state of affairs? In my mind, I replay my own scenario of what Dr. King would say. He walked through the doors of my school, through the hallways of Parsons, and took a look at our classrooms. In my mind, Dr. King would say this: "Thank God for the children. Thank God the children of my generation and this generation will have grown and lived in a better area than ancestors before them. Thank God these children will never know the type of violence and overt discrimination that plagued this country for so many years. Thank God these children can now be together, help one another, and love one another freely as God intended. Thank God this generation will have the opportunity to lead our society into an even brighter future than the future I see right now. I pray that we do not fail to teach this generation how to avoid the pitfalls of the past, and teach them how to change beyond my own dreams and the dreams they have set for themselves." In my head, that's how I hear him. We must teach them. Everyone must teach them, not just teachers, not just principals. All of us, parents, business owners, elected officials, strangers, pen members, we must teach them. And not just with our words, but with our actions and our acts of service. Teach them self-confidence, self-worth. Teach them how to respect themselves and show respect. Teach them how to dream and how to persevere when dreams seem out of reach. And teach them to stand up for what is right and stand against what is wrong. I'm an educator today because someone exceptional took a chance on me when I was a young man and gave me the opportunity through education to become something greater than I even imagined for myself. I teach because I believe every child should be afforded these same types of opportunities. Education is a tool that can change the outcome of anyone's circumstance and change the circumstances of others around them. I was born on April 4th, the anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's being taken from us. But today, with this award, you've helped me realize that now this date marks me as an individual that holds my hand out and takes the torch that Martin Luther King lit for a brighter future and equality for everyone. I'm proud to call myself a teacher. I am thankful to work with this next generation of thinkers and leaders, and I am blessed to serve this community. Thank you for allowing me to hold the torch.
As the mayor, it's sometimes my pleasure and an honor to see people who make a real difference in our community. And Jessica Visum is someone who's done that. She has energetically worked with and energized the scouting program in North Brunswick. Another thing you get to do as mayor is you go to the Eagle induction ceremonies where they make young men and Eagle Scouts, and it is such an impressive thing to see. And it's been impressive to see the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and scouting in our township with all of the principles that they bring grow and become a vibrant force. And we have Jessica to thank for that. Jessica has brought us a food bank program. Everything that goes into a community, she is there teaching and bringing the young men and the young women that she works with into an understanding of what it takes for all of us to come together and form a community. So it's a special, special honor to be able to present this award to Jessica Visum.
I'd like to tell you something a little bit about Mr. A before I get started. On Tuesday nights, I work, and then I work at an outreach program at my office, and at 6:30, I finally roll into Parsons School to help with an outreach program there. And every week, at 6:30, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, Mr. A is right there with me, helping out in that program, and those kids love him. They don't just like him, they love him. And they scream, "Mr. A," as soon as he walks in the room, and he is amazing. And I am so honored to share this with you. Don't have quite the same speech, but I'm going to go for it. I am very humbled to receive this award, but it is not just mine. You see, I have these friends. I have these amazing friends who endlessly and supportively give so freely of their time and energy. Poor Dominic Macchio was the first parent I ever met at my first PTA meeting in kindergarten, and he's been with me ever since. You get such a great feeling from everybody coming together to work and make a difference. And I have these scouts and their families who commit selflessly to community service. Scouting as a program is so much more than camping. It spends a lot of time focusing on both leadership and citizenship, and for a very good reason. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And these boys are. There's never a complaint. There's never bragging. These children, these young men, I guess, they spend so much time giving back, and they don't just kind of do it. They do it with enthusiasm. And I live in this community where people believe in helping. Those scouts are going to go at the end of this month and ask for money for the food bank. And I can guarantee you that almost every person who passes them by is going to give them money. They may give change in their pocket, but some are going to give 20s and some give 50s because we live in a place where people believe in giving back. I have a township that bends over backwards to help with all of our efforts. Luann especially has done everything to make it easy so that we can do good. Lastly, and most importantly, I have my son, Charlie, who's right there with me every single time, working just as hard. And I know that when he's an adult, he's going to keep doing these things and keep taking care of the place where he lives. To see Charlie and to see all of these kids working so hard, you know that you're planting the seed for a whole life of doing good things for your community. These kids are the people that you're going to be able to depend on to lead us in the future. And honestly, without all of these things happening around me, how could I not get involved? I know that I'm just a small part of what makes North Brunswick such a successful community, and there are so many others out there working hard too. But thank you for giving me a place to live that's so involved and takes such good care of its residents. I'm really blessed. I think that we all are. This is doing it right. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, each year, the Township of North Brunswick conducts an art and essay contest. And this year, we are pleased to present the following awards to these students. In first place for the art contest for the grades kindergarten through third grade, we have Isha Patel. And Isha, we're going to have you come down to the front and come this way. In second place, we have Selma Albini. In third place, we have Arshi Manyar. Next category was the 4th and 5th grade. In first place, we have Kieran Merchant. Second place, it was a combined effort by 3 students. It is Soloni Nair, Sanya Biswal, and Chavi Narula. For our 6th through 8th grade category, in first place we have Rita, oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. For our 4th and 5th grade, in third place we have Jade Vernon. In our 6th through 8th category, in first place we have Rita Merchant. And then our honorable mention from our high schooler, we have Caprice Sanchez. The students, we're going to ask you to stay for a second. Parents, you can, this is your opportunity to take any photos.
Due to the capacity of our room, and we're so pleased to see so many people, that their award-winning artwork is up on the dais, and we're going to leave that up there tonight. So after our program, please feel free to look at that, as well as out in our hallway, we have artwork displayed by all our participants. Let's put our hands together once again for our students.
If I could take just a moment, I'd like to acknowledge the presence tonight of a longtime educator and a freeholder in Middlesex County, Blanquita Volante. Blanquita?
Thank you, students. Congratulations, and you can head back to your seats. Thank you. You can get any last-moment photos of them passing you by. Great job. Let's give them another round of applause. Now what we've been waiting for are third graders from Livingston Park School. If I could invite you to please stand. This is the moment, and I know you've been waiting. Parents, get those cameras ready. Ashley, when you're ready. Let's stand up for them. Let's stand up.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now can see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed.
As we prepare to close our program tonight, I'd like us to reflect upon the message that was shared this evening. And as we do this program each year, I have to really thank tonight's speakers. Your messages were extremely meaningful, and the students that participated tonight, your actions spoke of what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy was all about. And as you look around this room, he'd be proud of the fabric that North Brunswick community is made up of. I want to thank each of you for joining us tonight, especially to our participants. I'd like to invite you into the next room, carefully, because there's many of us, for some light refreshments. But most of all, as I look out into the room and see young and old, remember, this is our community. Go out and make it all it can be. Thank you.